Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast by a couple of friends that love Formula One. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your bell-bottoms host, Luigi. And today we are rating drivers from 1970 for our TP Championship Series, and this is part 2. So let's go.
Bell bottoms. Hang on, before we get into that, David's back with us. Hi, David.
Hi, team. How are you?
Good.
Very happy to be here again for the second part of the 1970 season.
Yes, we'll see if
ready,
we can...
ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rumble's the word. Rumble's the word. Bell bottoms, Luigi.
Oh, they look pretty cool, don't they?
Yeah, I never had any. Did you have any?
I wasn't that. I'm not that old.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm not that old.
No, it kind of, it was a bit before our time, wasn't it?
Flares have come back and they're like bell bottoms.
Yeah, flares are sort of like bell bottoms. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's not forget, the drivers of this time were wearing this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that was fashion. Like that, the Hamiltons of the Formula One grid of 1970.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we're up to race 4, aren't we? So you're reading this one, Rosa, yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
We're up to race 4. I'll just give a quick recap. We had Brabham in the lead on 56, Stewart catching up though on 34, and Rindt third on 22. All right, so race 4. A sad race as the McLaren team withdrew due to Bruce McLaren passing away 5 days prior. Yes, if you want to hear more about that, we do go into a bit more detail about McLaren's career in the race review episode, so go back and listen to that. So to this race, Stewart dominated qualifying. He was 2.1 seconds ahead of second place Rindt and Eamon in the March. First 5 laps of the race had 4 different leaders as Rindt charged into the lead, then Eamon and Stewart took turns until Rodriguez in the BRM took the lead on lap 5 and held on for the win by just 1.1 seconds from Eamon. Some unusual events took place during this race, including Jack Brabham finding a rogue rag in the way of his pedals while in third place. He fell back to 5th trying to retrieve it and then muscled his way back up to 3rd. He would later retire, as in his career. Or no, he would retire from the race.
Yeah. You keep wanting his retirement, Rosa. I can't believe you slipped up there. That was a big slip up.
Ronnie Peterson was arrested on the way to the track on race day, I think due to a traffic infringement, so that was a bit funny. Strong win by Rodriguez in the BRM, especially considering he qualified 6th. Eamon finished 3rd, Eamon 2nd, Beltoise 3rd, and Giunti in the Ferrari was 4th on debut. Over to you, David.
Okay, so in third place, I put Eamon. Eamon had a really good race. Yeah, I thought for him to finish just 1.1 seconds for the win. Yeah. Well,
I've forgotten to put your text in there, haven't I, David?
Yeah, I've scrolled down and you can see I have no text.
I'm laughing because you did well. Maybe David, you
I was going to get away with it,
my
Rosa.
top 3. Yeah. I was laughing because I thought, what's he going to say? And I was like, he's reading mine.
I might have missed that one.
Third.
But he just missed out. Yep. Okay, so then for second, I've got BRM. BRM is their first championship win since 1966. So I thought that was a good effort for them to put together a car for Rodriguez in that, for him to finish there. And in first place, I've got Rodriguez for winning. I think he did a good job.
Yeah, in that BRM.
And interesting that Jack Brabham in the race, the rag that was stuck down near his feet, I don't know how he got it back up, but I understand that he sat on the rag and didn't throw it away.
Yes.
Someone else's face or someone else's air ducts or something.
Exactly. That's right.
So that's pretty...
We did have a talk about that, about how Luigi would have thrown it in someone's face or air duct just to gain an advantage.
I'm sure his motives were good in that. I totally believe that. But he probably didn't want it to go into his wing either.
No.
Just saying. So I had Eamon in third like David. Like a solid second place. He tried really hard. Got the fastest lap on the last lap. And, he only missed out on the win by 1.1 seconds. And many of us know that Eamon's not normally in this position this late in the race. Brabham in second. Despite the rag, he managed to get back up to third and just shows real strength. And he's had an unbelievable start to the season. He could have even won the race prior. So let's not forget, even though he's winning this TP, he could have been winning this World Championship too. And Rodriguez for the win. Who else? Anyone who doesn't put Rodriguez for the win in this is like David and I have both put Rodriguez as first, right? He was in an inferior car. He took the lead and he had a challenge all the way in Amon and he still got the win. So how could someone not put him on their podium?
I wonder if anyone would do that and not put Rodriguez first.
Yeah, how could you have the winner of the race not even on the podium? That doesn't make sense, does it, David?
Not really, no.
How could you?
Every race is different.
Oh, yes.
Rosa,
Okay.
what are your tips?
I had Brabham as in my top one. I'll start from I had BRM. Yes, I had the same thing that David had. I had BRM's first championship win since 1966. I think that's a big deal. That's 4 years ago. I had Amon second. I had good fight for the win. Just missed out, I had. So I don't know what the gap was between him and Rodriguez, Luigi, but I don't think it was that much.
Yeah, it was at 1.1 seconds.
Oh, there you go. It was 1.1 seconds. So, that's
He
close.
just missed out on the DRS zone.
Yeah, that's right. I put Brabham for the win. So I actually thought that he could have won this race. And I'm righting a wrong.
Third.
I'm righting a wrong. Yes, he's third, but he had to the rag made him drop down to sixth or something.
Yeah. I think the rag should get first place.
Yeah, maybe the rag. Maybe you meant rag.
He was in third place and then he tried to retrieve the rag and that made him drop down to fifth and then he muscled his way up to third again. I'm just thinking without that rag incident, he would have muscled his way into first. So I'm righting a wrong.
It's a bit of a stretch, is all I'm saying, because it's not like the guy was leading.
Well,
and,
yes, but
you're talking about you had hoped that he would get up there, but he wasn't up there.
Well, who did he have to beat? He had to beat Rodriguez in a BRM and Ronnie. Well, who else did he?
Amon
in a March. Come on. So if it was Stewart in the match,
I've got something. I've got evidence. They were over 15 seconds clear of Brabham and continuing to pull away without the Australian being able to do anything
about it. Who asked you anyway, Luigi?
Oh, that's right. We said we're going to do these episodes quick, didn't we?
Well,
he did later retire as well.
Yes.
He actually retired.
And
he didn't finish third.
Good point, David.
Yes.
Good point.
I know.
We're going to keep going, Rosa, until you apologise.
No, that's all.
This is going to be the longest podcast ever.
We're just stating the facts. It's not personal.
Okay. All right. So, thanks to me, Brabham, flying the Australian flag, is still in the lead after 4 races on 70 points. Stewart, who did nothing in that race. What happened to Stewart in that? Yeah, what did happen to Stewart?
I don't know. I can't. He retired on lap 14, sort of halfway.
Right. So I'm surprised you still didn't give him points, Luigi. So Brabham's in the lead on 70, Stewart's second on 34, and Rindt is third on 22.
Now, this is really interesting that those of us listening to this, we know Rindt wins the World Championship. It's not a surprise if you've listened to our race review episodes.
Yes.
Rindt's nowhere.
He's third on 22.
Yeah.
He's so far from Brabham.
That Lotus 72 really has not hit its stride yet.
No,
it's like a real novice car that's having issues. So we're up to race 5, the Dutch Grand Prix.
The other interesting thing is I want to know there's no Ferraris in the top 3, 4, 5 that I can see at all in the first few races.
That's correct. That's right.
I think we're going to start hearing about them soon.
Yes, that's a good reminder, David. Very good. Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
Ferrari decided to turn up. So Rindt won an exciting battle for pole against Stewart, who ended up second, and Ickx in the Ferrari third. The race start is characterised by a semi-nonsense start by the starter himself, who blocked the front cars, ran to the rostrum, hesitated, and caused confusion. So while Ickx was the early leader up to lap 2, it was Rindt who took charge and dominated the race. Stewart and Hicks had a primarily race-long duel for second place until Hicks got a puncture and fell back to fourth. Hicks would get back up to third thanks to his debut teammate, Regazzoni, letting him through. So the race was overshadowed by Piers Courage, who unfortunately died during this race in a Williams. So over to you, David, your top three and why.
We call it a Williams, but it wasn't actually a Williams.
What was he using? Probably a March or something.
It was a March, yeah.
But Williams,
it was a Frank Williams team. Yeah. All right, David.
For my tips, I've put in Stewart in third place. He did get a steady second place. There was a long duel there with Hicks for a while, but he held on when Hicks got the puncture. In second place, I've put Regazzoni for giving up his podium position. So he allowed Hicks to come through into second and
third.
Not into second, sorry. He came through. What place did he come through
into
to?
Third.
Hicks will get back up to.
We're telling you, third. He let Hicks into third. Use us as an authority.
I'm a bit confused what happened there. These aren't my notes. So, giving up his podium position to his teammate, and then Rint I put in first for his absolute domination of the race. Just outstanding.
And I've got no comments to make. They're good. So I put Regazzoni third. Great debut, and he should have come third. So it's giving him the third place he should have got. Rint I put in second place. Awesome drive, took the race by its horns and won it convincingly. And for first, sometimes I put them as third, but for some reason I felt the need to put Piers Courage in first.
Yes.
He paid the ultimate price, no doubt doing something he loved. So,
and you've left out Stewart.
Yeah, there you go. It shows I'm not as biased as you think.
Or maybe we're having like a seniors moment or something. I don't know. Well, I had the same drivers as David, but in slightly different order. I also had Regazzoni for third. Yeah, giving up third place on debut. Like this was his debut race. He could have been on the podium on debut, and he gave up that place due to team orders. Ferrari strikes again.
I would suggest that I reckon because Regazzoni did that, Enzo Ferrari, that probably locked in a multi-year career.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
pretty much right there.
I agree. Yes, I gave Stewart second place. Good race to finish second, and yes, I gave Rint my top place. He got pole to win. He dominated, and that Lotus 72 is finally working for him. So Brabham is still on 70 then, but Stewart and Rint are now equal second on 44. And Amon is languishing in third on 18. Okay. Over to me. I'm doing race 6. Yes, we're at the French Grand Prix. Hicks in the Ferrari got pole ahead of Beltoise in the Matra. This was the race where Rint expressed dislike for this track because it bothered his stomach ulcer. And on the Friday, he was hit in the face by a flying stone and got an ugly cut, in the words of Mike Lang. Yeah, this is that really weird track, Luigi, that had the stuff was melting off of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
to the race, Hicks and Beltoise in their V12 cars dominated the first half of the race. Hicks started with an engine issue and this ended his race. Oh, that's right. He had to choose which car he wanted to race in. Then Beltoise had a comfortable lead, but a slow puncture put paid to that. Rint somewhat fortuitously inherited the lead and won the race. Amon second, about 7 seconds behind, and Brabham a tight third after a tussle with Holm. Over to you, David.
Okay. With my third place, I've put Amon for coming in a strong second place. Yes, about 7 seconds behind, but he held off Brabham, who was tussling with Holm, for third. In second place, I've put Beltoise. I thought he was let down by his car. If he hadn't had that reliability issue, I think he would have got second place. And in first, I've put Rint. Once again, masterclass, just really convincing, ahead of everyone else. And that's my tips there.
Was Rint really convincing, David? I mean, he was a bit lucky, I seem to remember.
Yeah, looking through the notes here. I
He
can
kind of
see,
inherited the lead at the end, but
7 seconds.
but he had to be there.
yes, and he did.
Okay.
Okay. It was convincing in the end because it was 7 seconds. Yes. Okay. All right.
That's not even that much, really.
No.
And FYI, everyone, when David says looking at the notes, he's referring to his own notes. It's not like we're giving him a script to read. read
Yeah,
to
these
us.
are my own notes, which have been severely broken down to very small abbreviations, and
But they are your abbreviations, correct?
Yes.
No, they're not my abbreviations.
Oh, are they? Okay.
No, all my notes are not here. So, to my surprise, so
Okay, no problem. So you can go to the original
but my tips are the
document,
same. My tips stand as they are.
Okay. So my third place was Rint. I called it a somewhat lucky win, but he overcame his hatred of this track and maybe the nauseousness from his stomach ulcer. I put Ix in second. He was next in line in my mind to win the race, but he was let down by his own car. And then finally Beltoise I put first because he really should have won this race and he was let down by his car and he was the most meant to win it. Followed by Ix, who was next most meant to win it, followed by Rint.
Who actually did win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had similar to you, Luigi. I had the same, except I switched Ix and Bertoise. So yeah, Rin a bit lucky, but did have to pass a few cars also to win the race. Bertoise should have won his home race if not for that slow puncture. Ix, I thought I put first. I don't know. It was just a tough call to race with the qualifying car that had an issue. Remember, he had to choose between the car he qualified in, but he knew he had an issue, or he could have jumped in the spare car, I think, but they knew that it wasn't as fast. So he got pole. He should have won this race. I think I was putting him first for that reason. So
Yeah, the only challenge I have was it's like, I'm digging deep when I'm looking at the book and I'm going,
Yes.
okay, lap 26 is when Beltoise had his problem. Lap 26 out of 38. And Ix retired on lap 17. So that's offset by the pole.
yes,
thing,
yes.
So I get that. So it's.
Look, I think the fact that we switched them probably evens out those two drivers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brabham is on 70, but Rint is catching him now on 60, and Stewart is still on 44, and Eamon is on 22.
Yeah, Stewart's gone missing, hasn't he? And hasn't Rint shot up? Only 10 points behind Brabham.
Yes.
And Brabham's gone a little bit missing, but not much. Just he hasn't disappeared like Stewart. Anyway, race 7, the British Grand Prix. Rint got pole ahead of Brabham and Ix.
There he is. Brabham.
Here comes
Prior to the race, Rint told Lotus team boss Chapman that he was likely to retire at the end of the year. As a result, Fittipaldi gets his race debut in the Lotus 49C, the older car. To the race, Rint and Brabham took off and duelled all race. Rint was leading most of the way. Then with 12 laps to go, he stuffs up a gear change. Brabham takes the lead, and in the next 11 laps, Brabham pulls out a 13-second lead. Then on the last lap, Brabham runs out of fuel, and Rint takes the win. Brabham coasts over the line to take second. Oliver in the BRM, who was a lonely third for most of the race, retires, which leaves a big duel at the end between Holm, who takes third place by 0.4 seconds ahead of Regazzoni. After the race, Rint was initially disqualified, but he was reinstated after some checks. So, David, over to you.
Okay. In third place, I've put Colin Chapman for putting up an argument against his driver, Rint. Yeah, for being disqualified. He stood up for his rules and made it stick and giving Rint his position back. For second place, I gave it to Brabham. I think he was unlucky to run out of fuel while leading, but he did at least finish in second. And for first place, I gave it to Rint. He did get the pole and he converted it to a win. So yeah, doing really well there.
I think you're being tough on Brabham.
What do you mean?
I'll fix it on my one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So I've got Oliver in third because he really deserved third place. He was solidly there by himself for most of the time. I put Rint in second. He won the race, but he was lucky at the end, in my opinion. And I put Brabham as first. He was, in my mind, the true winner. until his car ran out of fuel. So it was a great drive by the old Aussie. And just a special call out to Regazzoni for again missing out on a podium by just. This time he was battling with someone who didn't want to give it to him. He didn't hand it to Holm. So yeah, poor Regazzoni misses out on the podium again.
Well, I also gave it to Colin Chapman. I think if it wasn't for him successfully appealing that Rindt disqualification, Rindt wouldn't have got that win. So I put Colin Chapman in third. I had Emerson Fittipaldi as my second. On debut, qualified 21st, and he finished 8th. I know he finished outside the points. I can hear Andrew, what is it? Something about mediocrity.
Yeah, don't reward mediocrity. Yeah.
But look, it's his debut. It's Emerson Fittipaldi, and it was in an older Lotus, so I thought I would give him a bit of a shout out. But I had Brabham first as well, Louis. I thought he was leading comfortably until he ran a fuel. I mean, is that a driver error? I don't know. Is it a team error? I don't know. And then he almost had a second chance at winning with the disqualification for Rindt on his rear wing infringement, and then he got that taken away from him as well. Who knows whether Colin Chapman actually played within the rules or not, David? But he seems like one of those guys that would do anything for a win.
Yeah. The only challenge I have on yours, Rosa, is I would have said Emerson Fittipaldi. It's a good pick, but I'd say third.
Yeah, maybe third.
Because I think the other one was more suited. Like I think Rindt could have got second or third. Yeah. Anyway, neither here nor there. Yeah.
Okay, so Brabham, after 7 races, Brabham's on 92, Rindt is on 74, Stewart is on 44, and Eamon is on 22.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we are at the German Grand Prix. Hockenheim was the host of this race with new guardrails around the track. This was installed after Jim Clark's death at this track in 1968. To the race, only 3 drivers qualified under 2 minutes, with Ferrari taking pole, followed by Rindt in the Lotus and Regazzoni in the other Ferrari. When the race started, X charged into the lead for the 4th race in a row, and he led a quartet of drivers that were constantly changing the lead as they slipstreamed like it was Monza. Eventually, retirements hit hard, and towards the end of the race, it was a slipstreaming battle for the win between X and Rindt. They changed positions constantly. With 2 laps to go, Rindt moved into the lead, and from there he went on to win by 0.7 seconds, despite the fact that X set the fastest lap on lap 49 out of 50. Holm came third in the McLaren due to a very high attrition rate. Okay, David.
Well, I was really impressed with Ferrari by bringing up the fact that they showed up and they got the transporter to arrive on time.
That's right.
Last race they didn't turn up on time and they missed the first practice session.
Yes.
Altogether. So yeah, I was impressive showing by them to turn up on time. In second place, I put X for leading most of the way, and he did get a second place finish.
Only 0.7 of a second.
Of a second, yeah. And in first place, I put Rindt for a classy drive against the dominant Ferrari with the Ferrari dominant. No, sorry. He beat the dominant Ferraris. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to do that, those Ferrari engines are pretty powerful, and you can see it where from the start line in the last few races that Ferrari has just blistered everyone else, mainly due to the horsepower in that engine over everyone else. So, yeah, that's my placings there.
Yeah, I was going to say that Ferrari from 1970 looks really good. People don't talk about it much, but I mean, I think it's the baby of the 312 series. It's called the 312B. It looks really cool. Anyway, my picks were third, Regazzoni. I felt that the new Ferrari boy was in the early battle for the race and qualified really well. He was second only to the informed Rindt in that Lotus 72. And great effort and only to be taken out by an engine issue. Second place, I gave it to X. So close, frustrating that he was beaten, but he was beaten on the day. And Rindt first, amazing win under pressure, and the Ferrari does seem to be on form. So I thought it was a good race by Rindt. That's mine.
I gave my third spot to Ferrari as well, David.
No, okay. That's good.
It's so funny. Our picks are so the same, but I did mine like 2 months before you. So, yeah, he's back in it with 2 drivers challenging the podium places. So, yeah, I thought that was impressive. I gave second place. Well, actually, what I did is I equally shared first and second between Ix and Rindt. I thought they were inseparable, even though the timing line did separate them. It was just nothing in it really between these two, and the slipstreaming tactics sort of won in the end right at the last minute. I mean, Ix set the fastest lap on the second to last lap. So I think it just came down to those slipstreaming tactics that Rindt got the better of it. Yeah, so I shared 1 and 2 between the both of them. Okay, so after race 8, Rindt has taken the lead on 97. Brabham's in second place on 92. And Stewart is third on 44. And Ix has leapfrogged. He's on 33 now in fourth place. Okay, well, I think we have to stop here, Luigi.
Yeah, I thought this was a two-parter. But
yeah, me too.
There's too much happening.
There's too much, exactly.
Too much to cover.
All right, so we might leave it there and come back for a third episode to wrap up the 1970 TP Championship.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
bye, everyone.
Bye.